Hello viewers, good evening. I am Dr. Aftab Hasmi, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Hereby present with you. This is our series of lectures, and in this series we have started Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. We have discussed first stanza and many more things: the style, time period, modernization, impact of the modernity. These things have been discussed already. Today I am going to discuss the line from 15 to so on. First I will recite line from the line 15 to 22. The lines are likewise: the yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes. The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes. The yellow smoke that rubs its muzzles on the window panes licked its tongue into the corridor of the evening, lingered upon the pools that stand in drains, let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden leap, and seeing that it was a soft October night, curled once about the horse and fell asleep. These are the lines from 15 to 22. In these lines, the very first thing is explain is the modernization and globalization in today's language. But in fact, it is industrialization. London, which is the city of abundance, the city of prosperity, the city of dream, the city of millionaires. All the people from the world, they want to rest there. They want to be a person in London. The value of London is today above and more above. But in the poem, the London is described when there was modernization started, where the globalization and industrialization was set up. And you know that where the industry grew, what happens? On that day London, we can compare in India with the city of NCR, and we can easily compare these things with NCR, especially the Gurgaon, IT city. What we find in NCR? We find there are tall buildings, skyscrapers, there is luxurious, splendid, very sharp and zigzag evening light and sound everywhere. This is the symbol of industrialization and growing economy. The other aspect, there is noise, there is unrest, there is uncertainty, there is insecurity, there is pollution, there is smoke, there is fog, and every health hazardous things you can find. If from the morning with vast faced, with shining face, you come out from home in NCR, especially in Gurgaon area and Cyber City area, within 1 and 2 hours your face will covered with sad, sands, pollution, smokes, and heat. So there are many aspects, but we are talking only two aspects. One aspect is growing economy and one aspect is its negative impact. So these things happened in the 20th century in England. So the Eliot want to say, convey these things. It appears that poem is back to talking about the half-deserted street from stanza 1. The streets are filled with a yellow fog, which sounds really nasty. Actually, this detail might allow us to take a stab at the location of the poem. Eliot was really interested in England, and he moved there before this poem was published. The capital of England is London, which gets really foggy. You have probably heard the phrase London fog. So maybe we are in London. Around the beginning of the 20th century, London was a really modern city that also had some of the roughest, seediest neighborhoods anywhere. This fog seems pretty acrobatic. It has a back and muzzles, which sounds like either a dog or a cat. Also, it licks things and makes sudden leaps. Definitely sounds like a cat. The poem is comparing the quiet, sneaky, and athletic movement of the fog to a common house cat. It is a pretty sweet image. If you have ever been around a cat, you know how they can sneak up on you. One moment you are sitting on the couch reading a book, and the next moment something soft and furry is rubbing against your leg. The fog is wandering around the street like a cat wanders around in a house. Finally, the fog gets tired and curls around the city house to fall asleep, like a cat would curl around something smaller, maybe the leg of a table or a chair. One interesting detail: it is a short October night, which means the poem is set in autumn. Now, the lines number 23 to 25. And indeed there will be time, J. Alfred Prufrock says, and indeed there will be time for the yellow smoke that slides along the street, rubbing its back upon the window panes. What does this mean? Eliot knew a lot about literature. He read more books than almost any other writer in 20th century. Maybe more than any other writer. He could make subtle reference to all kind of literary figures without even trying. His brain worked like that. Good for him. But you don't have to get these references to understand his poem. Sometimes, though, they are not fun to point out. Here the phrase "there will be time" refers to a poem called "To His Co-Mistress" by the 17th century English poet Henry Marvell. To His Co-Mistress, like many poems, is about a man trying to get a beeman to sleep with him. And it begins, had we but world enough and time, this cornice lady were no crime. The woman is being caught by pretending that she will not sleep with the poet. The poet is saying, look, we both know you want to sleep with me, and if we had until eternity to be together, it would be fine for you to waste time playing games. But we don't, so let us hope to it. Prufrock, however, uses the reference to time in exactly the opposite way. He thinks there is plenty of time for delay and dawdling. Just like in Marvell's poem, Prufrock addresses himself to a mistress, someone he loves. But here it's Prufrock and not the mistress who is being caught. By talking about the smoke, he is trying to justify the fact that he wasted our time with an entire stanza of description of the fog instead of asking that overwhelming question he told us about. Next lines from 26 to 34. The lines are, there will be time, there will be time, there will be time, there will be time to prepare a face to meet the face that you meet. To prepare a face to meet the face that you meet. There will be time to murder and create. There will be time to murder and create. And time for all the works and the days of hands that lift and drop a question on your plate. Time for you and time for me. Time for you and time for me. And time yet for 100 indecisions and for 100 visions and revisions before the taking of a toast and tea. Full of images and symbols. It is not an easy task to understand the symbols and imagery used by T.S. Eliot. He keeps repeating that there will be time, as if he has not quite convinced himself or his lover. Plenty of time to get your face ready to meet other people, also plenty of time to murder and create, which sounds pretty sinister. Is this supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing? We are not sure. In the next line, he says, there is time for all the works and the days of hands. Allusion alert. Works and days was the name of a work written by the Greek poet Hesiod. It is a poem about the importance of working for a living and not living a lazy, pointless existence. Also, you have noticed how Prufrock seems to refer to individual body parts instead of people. So far we have faces and hands. The hands are dropping questions onto a plate as if it were something we could dig into like a fancy steak dinner. Bring it on. But no, we still don't learn what the question is. Plenty of time for that later. There is also time for indecision, for not things, for not deciding things. We have all this time before the taking of a toast and tea. Now, this really seems like England, doesn't it? Now, we are going to discuss the style of the poem, love poem of J. Alfred Prufrock, composed by T.S. Eliot. we have discussed, we have already discussed 5 stanza, and the next stanza will discuss in the next video. Here we are going to make a description on the style of the poem. The first element of the poem is that fragmentation. The poem has no linear narrative, but instead unfolds a sequence of images, memories, and questions. This mirrors the features reality of modern life. The second key point of the style is stream of consciousness. Eliot employs an interior monologue that shifts abruptly between fantasy, reflection, and insecurity, capturing the rhythm of thoughts itself. Third point is symbolism and imagery. The fog, the streets, and the mermaids all carry symbolic weight. The fog suggests hesitation, the streets symbolize alienation, and the mermaids present unattainable romance. Fourth point is intertextual illusion. By referring Dante, Shakespeare, and Renaissance art, Eliot contrasts Prufrock's mediocrity with cultural greatness, adding layers of irony. And final point is irony and anti-heroism. The title itself is ironic. Prufrock love song is neither romantic nor passionate. Instead, it is confession of failure and inadequacy, making him the prototype of the modern anti-hero. In this way, we have completed the 5 stanza of the poem. The next stanza we'll discuss in next poem. Subscribe, comment, like, and share the channel. Thank you very much.